So here we are in this little grove, having clambered up a steep bank, and already we found 3 lime sticks here. Let's have a quick count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 lime sticks on this one site. And let's put pay to these because I can't think of a more insidious way of killing a bird, frankly, in all my life. And how long have you been here?
2 weeks already.
2 weeks?
I'm here for, what day is it? It's Wednesday. I'm here till Friday now.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
And how many birds do you reckon you've taken out?
We've saved quite a few, I think. Not as many as previous seasons. It seems that hunting is on a lower rate than last year, but we've definitely saved over 10 today, I think. And
well, those are the ones you released, but I mean, of course, every time we take one of these down, we save birds that don't get caught. I mean, that's the other thing, isn't it?
Each lime stick can catch up to 3 to 5 birds, I think. So every time you take down 10, you've saved 30 birds potentially.
Yeah. Whenever you get a bird in the hand like this, you get a chance to see it in a way that you can't with your naked eye or through binoculars. And the intricate, exquisite beauty of the bird is there for you to behold. And even if you don't think it's aesthetically beautiful, what it does is beautiful because it plays a really important ecological role in communities, not just in Europe where it's been breeding, but in Africa where it winters and everywhere else in between. So it's part of a system which keeps an ecosystem healthy and sustainable. Good luck, little black hat. It's creepy.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
There's nothing. This is the same place where we started walking last year, and from here onwards it was full of decoys. I think we identified 15 spots just in front of us.
Yeah, but I mean, we couldn't hear ourselves think here last year. They were pumping that bird song up into the night, and now it's nothing.
It changed,
What's going on?
The base look like they now mean business. They told us they want to change. They want to make the difference now, and they have new agents as well. One of them exactly told me this was, since I'm here, I want to make the difference. It looks like it really worked. Like last year we thought this will never stop, or at least it will take years, and instead in a snapshot we have a completely different situation.
And how many decoys have you found here this year?
Well, we have done the whole trip. At the beginning we had 15, which might sound a lot, but compared with the 50 or 60 we had last year, it's nothing.
Okay, let's keep going then.
Let's keep going.
Well, we just heard a decoy and we went to investigate. We could see the glow of the MP3 player, so we decided to get a bit closer to double check it. And a guy came out of the bushes. He was okay, he wasn't outrageously aggressive. So Andrea's called in the police, but now we're beating a semi-retreat because he's almost certainly going to alert the other hunters that we're here. So we have to find somewhere to lay low. The police have turned up really quickly.
Yeah, so we were coming from this side. There was a decoy in this row of trees, so we went around. But unfortunately the man was right there, so we can...
Pretty impressive. Police turned up. 4 policemen turned up within 10 minutes in exactly the right spot. And are really keen to get in here and find out what's going on. There seems to have been a complete turnaround in, you know, attitude and determination to stamp this out, which is fantastic news. But it wasn't only the police that had turned up. We were surprised to hear that the army were out on Cape Pyla as well. They, in the middle of the night, were setting about removing the irrigation pipes that serve some of the acacia groves. So we travelled with the officers to find out what was going on. I'm leaving the hard work to the experts. I'm just having a look around this site and some basic Ladybird book page 1 detective work. I'm doing some of that. This isn't an active trapping site. I don't think there's any trapping that's been done here for the last goodness knows when. I've been round, there's no poles, there's nothing to support the poles, and these pipes aren't connected to anything, and some of them, when you move them, the ground is, you know, shows that they haven't been there for any length of time. It honestly looks like these pipes were just put here yesterday. I'm just pretty suspicious, really. I mean, look, that pipe starts there and it comes all the way around here and then it ends over there somewhere, and this one just ends up there. It's all very odd. If the first site, where the army were removing the irrigation pipes, was a bit confusing, there was no doubt about the second one. This was a full-on hunter's camp, with trap lines and lots of lush acacia, and miles of the irrigation pipe. There must be at least a kilometre and a half of pipe in the truck. The first one, I don't know, I wasn't convinced that was an active trapping site, and most of the acacia was dead, but this second one was a good attempt. There's still pipe in there, but a lot came out, which is good. But it's about to get light, so we need to get out of here. Later that morning, we visited the SBA police station to have a chat with Chief Constable Chris Eyre, the man motivating these operations. Chris, it was a year ago that we were here. What have you done? What have you changed in that period in terms of trying to combat the illegal trapping on the base?
Bail levels for trapping have increased. We have in the laws here the ability that when vehicles are used off, in law it says in the course of or in commission with an offence, we can seize and seek for them to be confiscated by the courts. We've been doing that. Which means that for the trappers, the consequence of being caught means that the level of fines have increased, the sentencing from the court has increased, and the likelihood is that if they've been using a vehicle to commit the offence, then that will be lost as well. All of which starts to shift that risk equation to make it less attractive for people to be involved in this kind of activity. And
how are you catching them? Covert cameras?
Yeah.
More police on the ground?
Yes.
Change of tactics there?
Yes, all of those and everything else. Well, you've seen this year today that we've managed to secure a drone that we're using again to get visual footage of trappers and their activities. We've been using a whole range of other tactics. You know, more police officers on the ground, yes. Trained and run as the team that you've seen on the ground. This is not easy work for them. You know, the officers who are involved in this live in and amongst the local communities, and they can and do get subject to threats of violence towards them and their families as a result of these activities. So we have to support them to make sure that they can do what we require of them to enforce the law and hold these people to account.
Last year we were here, we were out on the base, we were deafened by the decoys. Yeah. In one night we went out, we found and heard at least 30, maybe 40 of these things. We were out last night, we heard one.
Mm-hmm. So there's a
significant change there, isn't there?
It's a success, really, isn't it?
It's a tremendous success at this point. Can you keep this up for the next 4 months to the end of February, beginning of March, when the song thrushes have finished their migration?
You properly point to the trapping season. This is a 12-month programme for us. It doesn't stop at the end of the season, because we are at the end of the trapping season. We then have the ongoing cases that we're still bringing through to prosecution. We've then got the activities that we're involved in and how we make sure that we're planning the next stage of making it harder for the trappers in the work that they're doing. So it's a 12-month programme for us.
There's no doubt at all that Chris Eyre has a strategy and he's trying to make progress. But what does Martin Helliker, Director of BirdLife Cyprus, make of this? There seems to be some improvement in the hunting situation on Cape Pyla. What do you make of that?
About time, isn't it? I mean, it's been terrible for so long. I think the bases are trying some new things, which is great. I mean, they've got this drone, they have made an effort to get rid of the irrigation that's keeping these alien acacia bushes nice and green for the trappers. There've been the tough fines coming in recently. So yeah, I think the trappers, the first time are thinking twice before going on to Cape Pyla, whereas for decades it's just been their playground. They've just done what they wanted there. Early days though, isn't it? We've got a long trapping season ahead of us, and we need to keep the pressure on them, you know, as BirdLife Cyprus and CABS, make sure that we don't let up at all, and they still need to push through on getting rid of all those alien acacias, those thickets that are used for trapping.
What about in the Republic, and what about the restaurants? Because this is another thing, cutting it off at that point of consumption would end the whole thing forever.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, the restaurants that serve the Ambella Puglia, the restaurants that are making an absolute killing out of this, they're known to everyone. You know, there's no secret, they don't advertise, but they're known to everyone. And if there was the political will in the Republic to clamp down on those restaurants, you could change that in a year, certainly in 2. Last year, there was 1 prosecution against the restaurants. The year before, 1. It's pathetic, you know, and this is another shortcut. So we need the bases to get rid of the acacia. It's good what they're doing on Cape Pyla, they need to continue them on that, but longer term, they need to get rid of the acacia, and we need the Republic to come down hard on the restaurants.
And in the short term, next year or 2, do you think we're going to see either of those, less acacia, and also some restaurants getting closed down, getting severe fines?
Oh, let's hope so. I think we're at a crucial juncture, and I think, you know, we all need to play our part in pressuring and make sure we get there, because if we don't now, if we don't see any action, where do we go from here?
When it comes to wildlife crime, it seems there are few opportunities to celebrate success, so we ought to seize this one, because it appears that the amount of bird killing going on the sovereign base has actually declined. Well, for the moment. What happens over the next few months remains to be seen, but you can rest assured that we'll be here to see it.